It's that time of year. The Premier League 26-27 jerseys are out, and it is time on this channel. We are ranking them. All things jerseys, all things football. Let's get into it. But first, before we get into it, I just want to say thank you guys so much, honestly, for the patience. Hopefully you can hear me really well. If it's bad, my apologies. But let's just get into it. Again, this is my opinion. You guys don't have to have the same opinion, but please leave it in the comments below. Or write anything. So without further ado, let's get underway. One thing, I collect jerseys. I wear them all the time. I have over 70 jerseys, so I love them, clearly. But one thing I gotta say, can't believe I'm saying this, but this is not just in the Premier League, but I just find this year, for some strange reason, that the 26-27 jerseys all around the country of England, everywhere, all the teams from the Premier League, the Championship, League 1, League 2, even in like Italy, all the leagues really, I have not really been impressed with the jerseys. I don't know. I have not really I don't think I've really fallen in love with any of them, to be completely honest. But nevertheless, this is my ranking. In 20th place, I have Hull. I think Hull, first of all, congratulations making it to the Premier League. I will be doing a prediction video coming up a little bit later, about a couple days before the Premier League actually starts, because players are still signing of teams, so I can't make that yet. But I just, something tells me that Hull City are just, I don't know. You can see on the screen, it's kind of more of like, I look at this and I think more of a rugby shirt. I don't look at it and think this is a team that has returned to the Premier League in over about 10 years. I don't think of it that way, and for that reason, I have to give it last place. I do like how they have the word Hull on it. I do like that. I just think I think the jersey itself is just ugly. I don't like it. So for that reason, we're having it there. In 19th, I have Crystal Palace. Yes, I as you can see on the screen here, I don't know, just something about it. I don't fall in love with this kit. I don't fall in love with it. I think their kit from 24, 25 has been one of their best kits. I love how they had like the wings in the jersey, like kind of like the jersey. I love that feel. And then when I saw their home kit last year, I was like, okay, they're still going. They're going. It's like Arsenal, right, or Chelsea. You got the traditional blue, you got the traditional red. Like Spurs, you got the traditional white. So when they had last year, when they had their red, white, and blue, their stripes, I loved it. I don't think it was better than the season prior, but I still think it's a good kit. This, I think, is more like an alternate, or not even an alternate, like an away kit. I don't know. I think if you are American or Canadian or whatever, hockey, you always have your home colors, and then away is always white. And you usually have your, like, if you are a team that wears green, then you always have your main colors white, and then you have green. To me, that is exactly what this is. Exactly what it is. It's, I don't know. And I don't like this kind of like, I don't know. I don't like it. And they are going for a retro badge. And I think retro badges have definitely been more common the last couple of years. But I just don't think it works for Crystal Palace in this scenario. Maybe if they had it as a third kit, then sure. But I don't know. I don't really like it, but again, that's just my opinion. I do like, there are some aspects of it. I do kind of like the arm, like the sleeve, I guess, part, kind of, I guess. I do like that, but for the retrospect, I am not a big fan of this kit. I think it is obviously better than Hull, that's why I put it up there, but I don't know. In 18th, I have Sunderland. Sunderland, who are in their second year back in the Premier League. A very surprising year. I did put them in a relegate. I did put them actually 18th when the Premier League was announced last year. And I did my prediction. I'm not a big fan of this kit. Again, I see what they're going for. They're kind of going for that old school feel. They are going for an old school feeling. I mean, they're not going for newer. They are going old school feeling. And I respect that. And I like that. I'm that kind of person where, like, I like how countries don't have sponsors, but I feel like clubs should. I don't know. I just think club football is just, you're used to seeing a sponsor, and I think that's why I rank kind of jerseys with sponsors higher. Now, I don't like gambling sites on jerseys, but like at least it's something. I mean, I don't condone it, but still, like, I don't know. I do like how they are still going to keep that red and white pattern. I like that. I do like it a little bit, but I can't rank this higher. Honestly, it is a little bit better than Crystal Palace's since their home kit is more traditional. But I don't know. I also don't like how their badge is like black and then they have the logo on it. I don't like that at all. I actually think that's terrible. Maybe I could have ranked it better if they just had the logo. Maybe they made it a little bit bigger. But to me, I don't like this at all. I think I don't like it. In 17th, I have Everton. Now, I think Everton, obviously, they always go for a classic blue, but I don't like it at all. I think classic blue it fits them nicely. But last year's kit, I think, looked way nicer. I don't know. Something about this kit is telling me that it is boring. The sponsor is not that good, honestly. I think the sponsor is way too big on the jersey. There are some there are some pros. I definitely think that this jersey, is sticking to its tradition where it is just a classic blue-white, with the yellow on like the collar, I guess you could say. But yeah, personally, I don't know. I can't really rank this one that high, unfortunately. But 17th, I have it, and I think that's pretty fair. I think I don't know. I don't know anyone who's an Everton fan, so I can't ask them how they feel about it. But I'm just not a fan of it, and I think for that reason, I have to put it in 17th. 16th place is actually a surprising team because I don't like 16th place. It is Tottenham Hotspur. I put them in 16th place. I think Tottenham, despite me hating their guts, I think that, and this is not even me being a biased person, I think they do it so simple, and that is good, but for some reason, it's just never quite good. And I think a lot of people can agree with me with last year's kit. Last year's kit was terrible. This year, I definitely think it's an upgrade from this year, but I don't know. I don't get why on, my right side, they have that purple big thing. I think it's terrible. I think it's ugly. I think it's just a bland kit. It works, and I think when you see the players wearing it, I think it looks better on them than it does, like when you look at it in image or whatever. But I don't know. I just think it's actually a pretty shit kit. I can't lie. I hate it. I don't know. I just think it's pretty boring in the front, and honestly, a lot of the jerseys this year are pretty boring. But I don't know. I look at the kit and I'm like, okay, well, this is a team that should be playing in the championship. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the jersey at all, honestly. So we'll find out how they do this year. I think they will have a much better year, but that is for another video. 15th place, I'm giving it to Leeds United. I think Leeds United, they went for something different. They're keeping their classic white and blue, but with that bit of yellow. But I definitely think that this is a jersey that is definitely lower, but it is still honestly not that bad. I think their jersey last year, I'm going to be honest, I think everyone had pretty much a better jersey last year than the ones this year. I will totally be frank with you. But I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I think they've made it they did a difference to it that, like, it's not that great, but, like, it's not bad. I would say. I think I put it a little bit lower, but honestly, it's not that bad. I do like the lines. I think the lines is something you don't really see that often. I think that's why I kind of put it lower, is you don't really see it often, but I think that's also what makes the jersey really good of Leeds. And I think Leeds, second year staying in the Prem, they stayed. I think they could be going down. I think they'll be in the relegation battle this year, but I don't know. I think this is a nice kit. I can see. I walk and see fans with that, and I would be like, okay, yeah, nice kit. It's nice. I think last year's was better, but personally, I think it's a good kit. I think it matches them pretty nicely. So with that being said, I think it's a good kit. I really do. I really do. I think it's a good kit, and yeah, I mean, I just think it is a good kit. I think it is a good kit, and yeah, I'm happy to say the least that it's a good kit. Okay. So, 14th place, I have Nottingham Forest. I think last year, I think their kit was to the T. I think their kit was probably one of the best last season. This year, I think the only thing missing from this kit is a sponsor. I don't care what the sponsor is, but I just think there's some teams that can pull it off and some teams can't. And I think, I don't know, didn't really work for me. I can't lie. So for that reason, I'm going to have to put them at 14th. But I think the pattern around the jersey with the Adidas here and the Nottingham Forest logo here, I think it's good. I think it's perfect to the T. I think it is actually a really good kit. But since it doesn't have a sponsor, I think I have to keep it at 14th. I think 14th is pretty fair here. So I'm going to have to keep it at that. So, yeah, I think 14th is a fair number here. And let's move on. The 13th is now Aston Villa, and Aston Villa, a team that usually does it well. They have their kind of winish color every single season. It's something to always expect, but this year, they've gone for something a little different. They've gone with their main color on their jersey, but again, no sponsor, and they've gone up here with a collar. They are now a team that is having a collar, like England's kits a couple of years ago, and Arsenal's kits a couple of years ago, with their lighter blue, kind of like a sky blue. And you know what? I think this works. I think that this is a very nice kit. But again, I am not a big fan of colors, one thing. And two, it doesn't have a sponsor. And I really think that is troubling, to be completely honest. I think if you don't have a sponsor, there's something wrong. Not wrong in a bad sense, but I just think for club, you need sponsors. For non-club, you don't. And for that reason, I'm putting it 13th. But I think it is a good kit. I do think it's a good kit, but I still think last year's is better. I think last year's is prime Villa. But yeah, tell me what you think. All right, 12th place. I know it is a bit of a surprise, but I'm putting AFC Bournemouth, a team that did reach European football. I actually like this kit. Again, I think the only thing that is wrong with this is the freaking sponsor, dude. First of all, mentality. Great sponsor, fine, whatever. Why the hell did they make it that big? I don't know what the hell the designers were thinking, but why the hell did you make it this, first of all, this big and a freaking circle? I don't get it. I really don't get it. I think it is freaking terrible. It's a classic kit, though. I mean, again, most teams in the Premier League, they have classic kits, and they look so fucking nice. Excuse my French. But, for this, what the hell? Honestly, this is actually... And honestly, it should probably go lower. But since it is classic, does have a sponsor, I'll give them credit. Honestly, everyone was making fun of them for the last 2 years of having BJ88. Bring that back. Bring that back. I don't like it at all. I think it's terrible. In 11th place, I know this is going to give me a little bit of shade here, but I'm going with Newcastle. Newcastle, a classic team like the old ladies of Juventus. A classic red and white striped shirt. Now, and last year they had it beautifully done. Beautifully. I think last year may have been a top 3 kit last year of Newcastle, to be completely honest with you. It was perfect down to the wire. This year, I put it 11th because it is still their classics, and it does look like a barcode. I know everyone calls it the barcode jersey, like
the France home kit this year from the World Cup.
The
bus seat jersey.
But the Metro seat. But I still think it works. Now, it's not the greatest. It is pretty crap, but it is better than a lot of the teams, I have to say. They do have a sponsor. I like their sponsor last year more. But, yeah. I still think it's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I don't know. I'm that kind of person that I'm fine with that. But I do like how, again, the logo is big. It matches. Again, I do have a Newcastle shirt. I don't really wear it. I went to Newcastle last fall, so just picked it up as a souvenir. But I don't wear it. But I do like it. I think it's very nice. I think the... I don't know.
Changing their sponsor this year, I won't lie. I think my mic just came back on. I just realized that. My bad, everybody. My bad. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm not the biggest fan of everyone changing their sponsors every year, but it works. I think it works for the Newcastle. Again, it's classic. I like how they kept their blue right here on the last line. I like it. I think it works. It's traditional. I like it. I'm putting it 11. I don't think it's top 10, but I think it's 11th, and I think 11th is actually pretty fair here. 10th place, I have Brighton and Hell Valley, and I think that, again, another classic kit where you have blue and that white, the seagull colors. And if you want me to be completely honest, this is probably one of their worst kits in a long time. I'm sorry, I don't think the kits this year for any team, and including Arsenal, are that great. I won't lie. I am really disappointed, to be completely honest with you. I am extremely crushed. But I think 10th place is fair. I think, again, it's classic. I think, they have their classic sponsor. They're one of the teams that did not change the sponsor this year. I think it works. The one thing I don't like is I don't like how the lines kind of, stop, and then, because the sponsor's there. I don't like that. It's pretty bland. It's whatever. I do like, again, how it is simple. It is a simple home shirt, which is nice. I always think you need to have a good home shirt. Away shirt, alternate, okay, but you need to always have a good home shirt. If you have a good home shirt, you're good. And I think for them, in their case, they do. I think they do. I think they have a good home kit. So I'm going to rank it high. I think a 10th place, top 10, is significant enough. Next, I have a 9th place. I have Brentford. I am surprised that they're making a new home kit. Remember, last year they did too, and their fans in the whole Premier League were just surprised. And to be completely honest, I am too. I think last year, I also think is a top. I think I put mine top 10. I didn't make a video on it, of course, but I think I put them 7th last year. So I did put them down a little bit because I do think their kit last year was cleaner and nicer. And also I gave them a little bit of bonus points because they actually released a new kit. But, yeah, I think, again, the sponsors, I don't really like their sponsor. Honestly, the yellow on the jersey, I'm not the biggest fan of. I can't lie. I'm not the biggest fan of it. But it is what it is, obviously. I'm not a Brentford fan, so I don't really care too much. But for me who loves jerseys and being in that industry, I just love them so much that it does kind of hurt. I can't lie. But I think it still kind of has their kind of like a classic, they're kind of like the red and white kind of. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. But yeah. Another London team is 8th place. I'm giving it to Chelsea. I think Chelsea deserve 8th place. I think this jersey is really good, but also really poor. And here's my thoughts on it. First of all, they clearly just don't like having sponsors anymore until the last 5 weeks of the season when they. But yeah, they clearly don't like sponsors for some reason. Excuse me. For some strange reason. The thing I like about this jersey is I really wish they had. Sorry, one thing I don't like about the jersey is I wish they had a sponsor. The jersey they had the last 2 years, I still think 2024, 2025 may have been one of the best years for jerseys in the Premier League. I mean, I think that jersey from Chelsea was unbelievable. But I think what works for this jersey is the badge. I think having the yellow badge works. I actually love it. I actually think it is a super smart idea. I love it. The thing I don't like about this jersey is it's kind of boring. I think, especially since they changed their logo. They've gone with the no circle badge. They just put the logo. I think they could have made it more fun. And they could have. And I know they go for simple, but they easily could have made it fun. I'm sorry, they could have. They didn't. They chose not to, and I don't know about that, to be completely honest with you. I'm not quite sure why. The thing that is definitely a deal breaker, to be completely honest, is why the hell they have their logo massive in the middle. I think that is so stupid. And that is honestly what makes me. This kit could have gone higher if they didn't put that in the middle. But I can't move it higher. I just think, it's not that. That part has ruined it. But it's a good kit. It is a clean Chelsea kit. It's what you want, Chelsea fans. To be honest, you guys don't really look forward to anything but your home kit releases. So let's just be honest here. I just think it is just a clean kit. And for honest sake, I think it's not that bad. But I do think definitely you could have had more. I think they could have had more fun with this kit. And I think having the logo twice massive is a deal breaker. And this is why I can't rank it higher. But I think 8th place is pretty good for them. 7th place, I have their rivals right across the street, pretty much at the waterfront, is Fulham. Now, they did go with a new sponsor this year, and honestly, not that bad, but again, it kind of ruins it. I just think, I also think a sponsor is super important for a jersey because I also how it presents the jersey and how it looks. Again, it's their classic white and black. I honestly think, again, last year they had more of a clean jersey, just the way that they had the flow of their kit. But again, I still think it is better than Brentford. It is better than Chelsea. It is better than Newcastle and all the other ones I ranked. I think, personally, I don't like the red on the sleeve. I think that is kind of But again, it's just a clean front look. I like it a lot. I think the sponsor is not that bad, but it is kind of a deal breaker. But it is what it is. And we got a little fit for the year. But I still think it's not. I don't think it's that bad, but I wouldn't give it that great. But for that, I'm gonna put it 7th. I think 7th place is fair. So yeah, all right, top 6. Here we go. In 6th place, I'm giving it to the Red Devils, Manchester United. I think that this is probably one of their more forgettable shirts. I cannot lie, but I still think it's clean. A Manchester United kit is always clean. The most popular club in the world. Debate that over Real Madrid, if you will. But it's a classic kit. It is a very nice kit, and I'm going to give credit to the designers here. Again, an Adidas jersey, I think, seeing all the new players wearing that, seeing their current players wearing that, maybe Rashford wearing that again. I think it's a good kit. I wouldn't give it higher than 6. I think 6th place is fair here because it is kind of a more of a forgettable shirt. But I still think it's a good shirt. I think you got to credit it. I think it's a good shirt. So for that reason, I'm putting it 6th place. The Snapdragon, I think, is actually a very good sponsor for them. I like the Snapdragon. Yeah, I think it's a good shirt. I do think it's a good shirt. I think it is kind of, again, I wouldn't really say boring, but I just think last year's was better. I don't think this shirt really excites me, but it is a clean shirt. And for that reason, I am going to be putting it in 6th place. 5th place in the top 5, I have Liverpool. Now, Liverpool, a team that lost their Premier League title to Arsenal, are now coming out with another new kit, of course. This is nice. This is one I put 5th. And the reason why I didn't put it higher is because I think there's some teams that just do it usually every year a little bit better. But one thing I'm going to give this jersey credit for, unlike everyone else, is they went for a unique feature of the design. And what I mean about that is they have a new pattern. They have a pattern, and I like that a lot. I do think last year's kit was better, I won't lie, but I definitely think that this is a really good jersey. Nevertheless, it is a good jersey. The sponsor's the same. I believe it is. The badge is good. It is a good shirt. It's not a bad shirt. It's actually probably one of the better shirts, obviously why I put it 5th. It's a good shirt. It's clean. It works. Can't wait to see Florian Wirtz in there. Alexander Isak in the shirt. Very good. It is a very good shirt. And for that reason, I'm putting it 5th. I think that's no reason to complain on that. In 4th place, I am putting Manchester City. I think, again, light blue works, obviously, is their main kit. And I really like it. I love the flow of the kit with the yellow. Sorry, not the yellow. The sky blue falling down to the white. But I won't lie, I do also think it is kind of bland. I don't think it is that great, but it's not bad. It is. I do think it is better than Liverpool, and I do think it is better than Manchester United. But for me, one thing that also I like looking at jerseys, and when I look at jerseys and I see them in person, I like seeing how they have on the badge. And like for the Arsenal logo here, I just like how the badge is, how it fits on the jersey, and just how it feels. And I think they've done the exact same thing like Arsenal from last season. And for that reason, I have to put it 4th. I think it is a clean Pumas kit. It is very good for Manchester City. It is one that they can probably do a lot of. It's one where I can probably see them lift the trophy, to be completely honest with you. So for that reason, I am putting them 4th. 3rd place, I am putting the England champions, the Premier League champions, Arsenal. The reason why I'm not putting them higher is because it's pretty much the same kit. I mean, I am going to buy the new kit, of course. I'm just waiting to get it with the gold patch. But, I should probably say on this side. But I think with that sense, I like it. I think it is a good kit. They are going with the last year they had that tradition with like the lines. Arsenal didn't do that, of course, but teams like Newcastle, Real Madrid did. A couple other teams did that too. It was like that kind of like tradition year, I guess, that kit. Now Arsenal are doing the same thing like Real Madrid are doing, where I think what ruins it for me is like that kind of dark tone on the top here. For me, it's that. The second thing is I'm going to give a criticism is because it is pretty much the same shirt from last year. You're paying 120, 120 Canadian, or about what, 130 quid or whatever for pretty much the same kit. Now, I also don't like how they changed I guess another sponsor on the shirt. I know a lot of Arsenal fans are not happy about that. I don't really care that much about it, but it affects the ranking. So for that reason, I'm putting it there. Yeah, but besides that, I think it's that kind of a kit where it's okay, but it's pretty much the same. What makes it better is the golden lion, obviously. But for that, I can't rank it higher. Second place, I have recently promoted Ipswich Town. Again, a classic blue with their logo. I think you definitely can go wrong with that kit. I think it's perfect. The sponsor, I think, is perfect. I think this is a classic, kind of like not an old time feeling, but a great kit. I think it fits the team perfectly. It fits the Premier League perfectly. It is a perfect kit. I love it. There's nothing else I can say. It is clean. It is great. And for that reason, I'm putting it second place. Really, I can't really talk much about it because there isn't much to say about the kit. I just think it is clean. The way it looks, it's just perfect. And finally, the first place I have in this year's 2026-2027 Premier League kit. Again, it's not Arsenal. I put Arsenal number 1 last year, but I'm not putting them 1 this year. It is now recently promoted Coventry City. I think, what else can you say on this kit? It is by far the best kit of the Premier League season. I love it. The light blue, the white, it is just clean. The way they made the colors and the flow of the lines, perfect. The orange with the sponsor is perfect too, and the badge fitting perfectly nicely. I love it. I love it. I think it is great. The one criticism I do have on it is the sponsor isn't the same color, white. Again, I don't really care, but I think you should have really put it the same color. I don't know why they changed it, but I don't really know why, but it is whatever. But for that reason, I put it first place. I think it is perfect. Hopefully we get to see them in the Premier League again next year, but you're just going to have to wait for my prediction to see if I believe that or not. But with that being said, guys, that is my ranking. I have Coventry City, who has the best Premier League shirt, and they would win the Premier League on kits. If you want me to do the away kit and possibly alternate kit, I will do that probably when the Premier League season starts. That being said, guys, so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. More long form content will be coming out. I will be doing possibly Premier League predictions. I will be doing all that kind of stuff, and I will be ranking other kits around the world and leagues and all that kind of stuff. I have my own custom leagues with sponsors and all that kind of stuff too. It's a fake league, not real sponsor. That's no one actually sponsors them. It's all fake, but it's cool. Yeah. And I have a lot of jerseys that I am going to make eventually long-form content, wearing them and just liking the feel of them too. So, yeah, but this is the Premier League 26-27 ranking. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or night. And please let me know what you think are the best kits of the 26-27 season. Thank you. Good night.